Welcome to the Evening Rush right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. You're actually going to be having the Hot Topic Parley with Esther Wachiku sitting in for Precious this beautiful cold Friday evening. Don't worry, on Monday evening, your darling Precious will be back on these airwaves telling you precisely what is trending, in the national polity. Once again, I welcome you to Voice of the People 90.3 FM, and I'm definitely going to be stirring you right here on the ship. Now, first of all, on the Evening Rush, we try to look at hot trending stories across the national polity. The Evening Rush comes up immediately after the world news, which I do hope that you actually paid attention to. And we try to get in-depth analysis of some of the trending issues that may be quite controversial. At the same time, we open the phone lines to hear from you. It's not a conversation that, the host or whoever is in the studio just has to themselves. You get to be part of the conversation as well. Now, I would implore you, okay, you can virtually be part of the conversation this evening. You just go on YouTube. It's VOP 903. VOP 903 FM. Once you click on that, you definitely see us live. You subscribe, so anytime any of the program comes up, you definitely get notified. The WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. I wouldn't call out the number to call now because I want us to have a conversation at least to a certain level before we open the phone lines. And what are the topics trending today? What is on the Hot Topic Pally? Well, Nigeria's Secret Police DSS arrests top central bank director Benjamin Fakunle at a retirement party, grills him over alleged corruption. The central bank seems to be the hotbed of a couple of investigations ongoing ever since the suspended governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, has been kept in, the DSS custody. And we've been having a lot of updates coming up ever since the auditing, deep, serious auditing have been going on over some files and transactions that were carried out during the tenure of Godwin Emefiele. Let's see and hope that Jim Obazi, who is actually in charge of that audit, will definitely tell us what exactly is going on and what happened to the Anchor Borrowers program. Now, a lot of Nigerians have reacted to this particular investigation. They said, if only this kind of energy and concentration would also, be put into other sectors of the Nigerian economy. For example, the aviation industry. That is one area that a couple of persons criticized because of the kind of corruption that took place in that sector under the former minister Hadi Sirika. And then they also talked about the EFCC too. Abdurrashid Bawa, we've not heard anything. We've not gotten an update exactly on what's going on that particular front. Also security as well. They're saying if this kind of energy will be harnessed to security, possibly then we'll say, okay, fine, this administration intends to do its needful. However, this is basically what the situation is. You do recall that 2 days ago, the Deputy Central Bank Governor was also arrested and taken into detention for questioning. She was being interrogated. Well, now top central bank director Benjamin Fakunle was also arrested at a retirement party, and then he's been grilled for corruption. We'll be looking into that very soon as well. Also, we have another response from the Labour Party where they actually said concerning poll performance, Soyinka dual-faced victim of groupthink syndrome. The Labour Party has responded to what Wole Soyinka said about, the Labour Party and Peter Obi, where he said that the Labour Party literally is feeding lies to the young people, and their intention is to create violence, anarchy, and, create a sense of unsettlement in the Nigerian polity. Well, it is not surprising to see that the party has responded ever since Wole Soyinka made that statement in Stellenbosch, South Africa, at a particular event. Well, it had reverberated across every angle of the Nigerian polity, and we've been getting feedback from the statement of Wole Soyinka concerning that statement he made, which of course I'm sure you've heard us talk about right here in Voice of the People 90.3 FM. So it is not surprising to hear that the Labour Party is thus responding to what he said. We also have another situation which was also discussed during the world news, where a particular Kano State Commissioner issuing death threats to tribunal judges, including their residents. We talked about that extensively on the world news at 6. And this particular commissioner is for the New Nigeria People's Party, which actually raised tongues. Tongues were wagging concerning the open threat he made, and he exposed quite a lot. If we paid attention to the words that he stated, it literally means that these people know what is going on when it comes to Boko Haram banditry and the kind of kidnapping that the country has been experiencing across several states. it's been a wave, it's been a consistent pattern, and these individuals know what is happening and they're not doing anything about it. Literally using it as a tool for whatever means they intend to use it for. Well, that what he said actually exposes a lot. A couple of critics have said, thank God it is not the ruling party that made such a statement. Possibly some opposition political party supporters would have said, indeed, nothing short is expected. If this administration can brazenly do certain things, well, it is not surprising they'll make such a statement. Well, this is coming from the new Nigeria People's Party camp. All right. Then, of course, we also have another update on the CSU Chicago State University, where you do know that the school has provided a further update on, his President Tinubu's academic record. This time around, they're verifying that he indeed attended the university. They only gave a difference on the kind of certificate that was given to him. They said there is a ceremonial one, there's a ceremonial diploma given, and a normal diploma, or a normal honorary degree that any individual could have actually acquired from such an institution. They also stated that the school reserves the right to any individual's privacy concerning their record unless that individual intends for their record to be put out there or from a court order, which brings Nigerians to a particular juncture. If this was the case, why didn't the school say something a long time ago? Why didn't they give details like this? No one would have thronged their LinkedIn page, their Facebook, their Twitter, and all of that. It got to a point where they locked their account, on X account. They locked their X account, their Facebook account, their LinkedIn account, and then the yearbook, the 1979 yearbook that had the picture of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was also not there as well. So it almost seems like there was a deliberate scenario created to enhance speculation and for conversations to continue, which seemed to be like a distraction at the time. Well, we're talking about this, in a bit, because I need to introduce my guest right here in the studio. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. I did tell you that I was going to be introducing my guest in the studio this evening, and that is Mr. Elvis Elimehele, who is a public affairs commentator, a political analyst. He's also an enthusiast, and I've always told you that Mr. Elvis has been in the media domain for almost more than 3 decades. Mr. Elvis, welcome to the Evening Rush.
Good evening, Esther. How are you doing?
I am fine. Thank you for actually giving me your time on the program this evening. I know you've been here from 6 o'clock for the world news, and I'm detaining you here to continue the Evening Rush to actually analyze on the Evening Rush this evening. I want to start off with this particular conversation concerning the outgoing finance director of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Benjamin Fakunle. He has been arrested and detained by the Department of State Service, and he's been grilled over his role in the 7-year audited accounts of the Apex Bank, alleged to have been fraudulent prepared, and of course he was reportedly arrested by the secret police at one post-retirement party being held in his honor on Wednesday. He was said to have been arrested on Wednesday at that retirement party. He oversaw, if you need to know a little detail about Fakunle, he oversaw the finance department of the bank and was also in charge of the audited accounts and their preparation. The position entails supervising processes and following accounting best practices in line with the Enabling Act of the institution. It also involves liaising with the auditors of the bank. However, reports say that discrepancies and irregularities were discovered in the audited accounts, which came on the heel of the interrogation of Shuaib Ahmed, the Executive Secretary of the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria. So, what's your take on that?
Thank you, Esther. I think most of these are going to play out, and I'm not surprised. I was particularly happy when the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, asked that CBN books should be looked into.
Okay.
Some people may look at it like, okay, he's trying to, witch hunt or whatever. No. A government must have to. There must be accountability in whatever we do when you are given the responsibility. We saw the MFLS regime as CBN governor. and we saw what played out, and we saw what happened towards the end of his regime. And his administration as CBN governor. And Nigerians went through a lot of stress. You and I know at the beginning of this year when we have to start buying our own local naira with money. So, and when the president came up with Obasanjo's panel that they should investigate and look into the books of the CBN, personally, I quite like that because the government deserve a lot of accountability because they are holding our money in trust, you and I, and as a result, we have to know what is going on there. So what is happening is not surprising to me. Many people are going to be fingered. I remember MFLA is still with them, and even as MFLA is also talking, so MFLA will also he has a team he worked with throughout his administration as a CBN governor. So many of them have already dipped their hand in the cooking jar and they are fingered, and as a result, you'll see more of the picking up. We have seen about 3 or 4 now picked up, and they have been interrogated. But my own grasp there is that let it not just end at interrogation. We want to see more. We want to see that these people are actually, the DSS have actually been able to institute a case against them, and they are tried in the court, and if they are found guilty, we want to see the appropriate punishment. It has to serve as deterrent. Somebody else is there now as acting. Somebody will come in fully as CBN governor. Probably when this government sits down so much, they will have to appoint another CBN governor. But if there are no laws, if there are no institutions are not strengthened, as in terms of law and order, the next person that will come in will just take a cue like what his colleagues, predecessors have been doing. So, but if these predecessors are now tried and punished appropriately, the next person that is coming will know that he is brought in there not just because of his qualification alone, but because the Nigerians have that confidence that he could deliver and is trustworthy. That's why that position is given to him. So anybody that is given such an important office should not see it as it is my own right. I have to turn it to a family affair matter. Bringing in people who are not even supposed to be there to come and execute contracts and inflate contracts.
Well, the Emefiele has begun to careen. He's begun to sing songs. He's beginning to mention names of business moguls, politicians. In fact, they said these supposed politicians that he's been mentioning have been looking for ways through which they can buy and implicate someone else, and they've been traveling out of the country. That's the latest development on the names and persons that a CBN governor, a former CBN governor, actually has been mentioning. But the question a lot of Nigerians are asking, the reason why I said so is that we've actually had this conversation here and we got phone calls. The thing is, whatever Emefiele did, he did in tandem and with the permission of former President Muhammadu Buhari. And so there was this particular old Kaduna State governor, Damagun, who made a statement recently and said that the whole CBN foist was something premeditated, mentioned some cabals within the presidency that, literally financially created a vortex in the Nigerian financial system. They kept on draining and taking without returning, no auditing going on. So whatever it is the CBN governor did was in permission of former President Muhammadu Buhari. So don't you think in the course of the investigation that the president should be invited, the former president should be invited and questioned? Or do you think that he has immunity from that?
He has no immunity. He has left the office. He should be invited where necessary. We are seeing the former president of Zuma, Jacob Zuma of South Africa now facing charges for infractions in the office. That's to tell you how it's supposed to be. So if there is anywhere former President Buhari, Muhammad Buhari is indicted, the law should pick him and ask and bring him for questioning. Because if Buhari came in under the mantra of fighting corruption, remember Esther, one of his cardinal mantra when he was coming, he was coming to fight corruption. If these ones are happening under his regime, especially what we are seeing now, what is another thing from being called in to come and answer 1 or 2 questions? That will begin to make Nigerians to believe in the system. The system. If President Tinubu wants to tell us that he wants to fight corruption, he should fight from the top to the bottom. Not like Buhari will say from top to the bottom. He should fight because those people who are actually, privileged to be part of this corruption in Nigeria are actually those people at the top. So if you start picking them up or call Buhari where necessary, if it's mentioned, because we know too well that most of the infractions that were committed by the former CBN governor Emefiele, actually he got order from Buhari. So if there were areas that it didn't go down well with him, he was actually like pushed into it, forced into it, he should mention name and let all the names appear to be questioned and be prosecuted. Let us see such things. That will begin to bring sanity into the system of Nigeria.
Okay, so let's go to one of the controversial conversations that trended almost throughout the week. You recall that, was it on Monday during the week, the principal of the People's Democratic Party said that he actually had a court appearance in CSU to have access to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's certificate. He told the court that he had a 14-day window to make an appeal to the Supreme Court. Now, apparently, the university, has actually released that transcript. In fact, they said that he graduated with cum laude from the university. Cum laude means with distinction or with honor, with praise. Now, the transcript, which was released to Atiku Abubakar's lawyers, showed that Tinubu was a brilliant student while in the school, and he scored A's in pre-calculus, intermediate accounts, business law, financial management, marketing management, cost accounting, and many others. It also shows that President Tinubu scored just a C in composition and a B in advanced accounting and price allocation theory. However, instead of the transcript cooling the controversy about the president's education, it ignited another. The transcript showed that President Tinubu was born on the 29th of March, 1954, whereas he has consistently claimed he was born 29th of March 1952. The issue is not new, but the politician had always blamed the error on typographical error. You recall that during the world news, we also had a similar conversation where we talked about this. Now, it was admitted, verbatim, where, it stated that the school itself said that the mistakes were expected, considering the fact that what obtained at the time, the precision was not as accurate as now compared to what was there. So meaning the president's date of birth, the president's the year that the president graduated, they actually said that there could be errors, but there are consistent traits of that particular certificate then and now. And then the question I asked you during the world news was, why the mental gymnastics? Why were we going through this snake and ladder puzzle? If the school actually knew that he graduated, why didn't he just say he did? Why did you go to court and say you cannot authenticate the genuinity of that certificate because there were some errors and that the errors were not from you? You were asked to swear an oath. The Tinubu camp said, no, there's no need to swear an oath so long as the school has admitted that he indeed attended the school. 2 or 3 days later, we're seeing the president's transcript that they refused to release a long time ago. And the school's defense is that unless the person, the individual, gives permission for it to be publicized, then fine, or they get a court order. So it was because Tinubu did not give permission for his certificate to put out there. But he is a president. Isn't it expected for this to be in the public domain?
100% is expected. I quite blame the school in this area, one. And again, I also have to blame the sitting president, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, because when this matter came up in 2000, the year 2000, Tinubu came up with the defense that the INEC form was filled by one of his commissioners, then Afiku Yomi, and he was the one that made the mistake. Then, since that time till now, I expected that he, knowing fully well that he's a figure and he was aspiring to become president of Nigeria all this while, when he was actually doing his political calculation, he ought to have also been able to contact his school to be able to amend all his record in the school within the number of years he stayed. But those ones were not done. It became another issue again when he contested as president of Nigeria, having become an issue when he was governor of Lagos State.
Yes.
One would have expected with all that number of years he stayed off from politics or active politics, now that before he offered himself to become president of Nigeria, all these things would have rectified. And again, the school also knows that he has become a figure in Nigeria, one of their students, whom they are supposed to be proud of anyway. But unfortunately, the school did not even play its role as is expected. The school ought to have been too proud that one of the students that graduated from them has gotten to this level of even becoming the president of a big country like Nigeria, So they would have also been able to come up with, releasing these things as expected, not allowing it to become stories in the media and the social media and even the mainstream media. Remember too well that at the time the school has to even close up their network, that people
their X account
that people could not even have access to it, and even remove the 1979 graduation booklet away from it. Why were they doing all this? If you know too well that he went through your system and he actually graduated appropriately and he was a distinction student or whatever you call him, then you should have been proud of your product and say, yes, he graduated and these are his records. But I don't know why they were, covering up those ones up and allow it to become big news in the media and everywhere before they are not coming up with this. I'm saying this one to be too late because the case has gone to tribunal and is even going to Supreme Court now. Atiku Abubakar actually took the hurdles by himself and said, even if it's not going to be used as part of his evidences in the Supreme Court or whatever, but let Nigerians actually know who is leading them as the president, which is a very good one because Nigerians, have the right to know who their president is, his past and his present, and even as it goes on as president of Nigeria in future 4 years from now, if he stays there, we want to know more about him. So what Atiku Abubakar did was not wrong. It was his right, and it's even done all over the world. Even in the US, they do it. But I'm surprised that the school could conceal this kind of important information all this while and now releasing it at this timing.
In fact, one of the evidences they alleged at the time was that they had gotten embarrassed. They've gotten harassed by, most Nigerians asking for the president's certificate. That is basically, in fact, that was one of the reasons that the school locked their account, including their LinkedIn page. They mentioned it in court that they've gotten embarrassed, they've gotten harassed by, and then put their reputation or their image in disrepute because of this particular case. I want to read out the petition itself, okay, or rather the affidavit. So in the Circuit Court of Cook County, Illinois, County Department Law Division, Atiku Abubakar, the petitioner, versus Chicago State University, which is the respondent. So Caleb Westberg, first being duly sworn, states that if called to testify in this matter, that is Caleb Westberg is actually tendering oath. I am over 18 years of age and could competently testify as to the facts contained herein and do affirm as follows. 1. I am employed as a registrar of Chicago State University and I am authorized to submit this affidavit on its behalf. Bola Ahmed Tinubu graduated and was awarded a degree from Chicago State University on June 22, 1979. Chicago State University provided a diploma to Bola Ahmed Tinubu and subsequently provided a certified or official copy of that diploma, but both are valid and authentic diplomas of Chicago State University. All right. Now, this is where the imbroglio comes in. There are certain differences between the diploma and the certified copy because all diplomas are signed by the current president/board chair. Now, there are also differences in the fonts and seal on the diploma versus the certified copy because the university updated its font and seal after the diploma was issued. The difference in the date of award on the diploma versus the certified copy is likely the result of human error. The graduation date on the certified copy is typed in manually by a person, and so thereby we should expect inaccuracies. In the United States of America, institutions of higher education often consider the diploma to be a ceremonial document. The official records of Chicago State University reflects and verifies that Bola Ahmed Tinubu did indeed graduated and was awarded a degree as stated above. Caleb Westberg. So, the thing now is this. There is this particular Illinois lady who was the secretary at the time, that they said was the registrar or the secretary at the time, that did the imputation, that is the name, year, date of birth and year and all of that. Apparently, the date that that particular certificate was awarded by that supposed lady, she was admitted into that university in 2008. Almost 18 years after. That is where the whole questioning came from. You said this lady was the one that was a registrar at the time. She did your imputation and all of that. But apparently, based on records, it was 2008 that she actually came into that school from Northampton University. And she also had issues with financial mismanagement as well. So where did her name come from? In putting your date of birth, your gender and everything. Where did you get the name from? 18 years after. How did you just go take it and put it somewhere? And then if this was the case, why wasn't it just plain open? Right from, when questions were being asked, why didn't you just tender it?
I think, Esther, Chicago State University is actually taking us for a ride.
You think so?
Yes.
Do you see this as a distraction though?
Yeah, because if Tinubu was a U.S. presidential candidate, do you think all this they would have allowed this one to play out? This school would have provided the U.S. citizens all they know about Tinubu before it got to this level. But because they are looking at us, this part of the world, that's like we don't have a right to know who our leader is, that's why they got to this level. All this information they are releasing at this time is very belated as far as I'm concerned. We ought to have known all this when he was an aspirant, before he became a candidate, before he now won election, and now we are in court. Do you see where we have gone through? The number of hurdles we have gone through. Certificate has all been playing up in all this. We know there are other issues. Certificate, age, and qualification have been playing up. We also know that Nigeria constitution did not even say you must be a graduate because you can contest as a president.
The details of his primary school and secondary school is in the public domain. Do they have that?
Because when we could not know his primary school and secondary school, everybody was like, okay, we want to know his university. Let's start from there. Again, the university was not helping matter. So we were left in the dark as Nigerians and not knowing whom our leader is, the president that is coming to become our president. So the onus now lies on us that we must press forward to actually know who our president is. That's why you see all these things. Nigerians have that right, and I give them the kudos for doing all that. But the university itself, knew all this why, and they kept mute, allowed this matter to fester to this level. If it was in America, can they do that? Would they do that to an aspirant or a candidate in America contesting for their election? We see what is most of the things that are going on now in America.
Even with Joe Biden, how they went to the extent of investigating his family, his own son, and it's in the public domain. Everyone has access to it.
So why would they conceal our own? Do they think we don't have such right? Joe Biden is not the one that committed the offense now. The son is the one that committed the offense that they are now saying they want to impeach him.
And it could be a dent for the ambition to go for a second term.
For a second term. So if they can do that to themselves and get to that level, don't they think that we also know that we also have the right to scrutinize whoever leads us? Why are they taking us for a ride? I think the school, Nigerians, I give Nigerians the kudos for bombarding their website and all their social media, all the while that we'll be wanting to know whom our president is. And if occasion warrant, next time for us to do more than this, we will still do it. Because they should not think that the toga of knowing whom their leader, rests with them, and we don't have that right. We have that right, and we must also know whom our leader is.
The president has said at some point he worked in Deloitte. He actually said that he worked in Deloitte. He said he once worked in Deloitte in the United States. So what was their response to his claim? They didn't say anything within here to confirm if he indeed worked in Deloitte in the United States?
We heard sometime that Deloitte disowned that.
They disowned that claim?
We heard that sometime, but we heard he said he worked in Mobi, and Mobi did not actually tell us that he did not work there. So I think anybody that is actually looking for his record should also visit Deloitte to actually know whether they will get.
I want to ask you a question, Mr. Elvis. Is there a problem with just being direct and straightforward about certain things? We may understand you not giving people details about your financial spending how you get your money, how you go about your personal activities. But there are basic information about you that shouldn't be left to be speculated on. I don't know if you understand where I'm coming from.
Sister, let me just quickly tell you. The issue is that by the time you start you start with mistake, it is bound that you are going to make more.
You have to continue
on that trend to be able to, trying to cover it up. You understand? If you ask me where I'm coming from now, with a snap of my fingertip, I'll tell you this is where I'm coming from. Where I've come from before. As you are hearing my voice in this studio, I can tell you. But if I have manipulated somewhere, and again, I want to find a way to see how I can cover all that manipulation, I will not give you that direct answer here. Because I need to think, I need to be calculative, so that my information I gave some years ago will tally with what I'm going to tell you right at my fingertip here in the studio. I think that's where some of these mistakes are becoming in. I know too well because we have seen Chief Bode George has told us that the primary school is made mention that he said he went to is not in existence in Lagos Island. Chief Bode George has told us that. We saw the government secondary school or something like that, Ibadan, government college Ibadan. Sometime when he was governor of Lagos State, when they had one of their products had become governor, and they said, okay, they want to do a kind of recession, for him. But along the line, when they asked for the year he left the school and his classmate and all that, they couldn't find it. They quickly dropped that recession that they wanted to host for him. You understand? So these are issues. If I become governor or president of Nigeria today, my classmate will even be the one that will say, one of us is so, let us find a way to host him. Go to my school, they will find my record. So sometimes when there are some, shady this along the line, and you are not trying to clear it because of the paraphernalia you have gotten in the society, the exposure and the recognition and what you have attained, it becomes very difficult for you to start clearing it from the onset. You now begin to find a way to cover it. It is not really too easy, especially when you are too exposed.
When this whole conversation came up, it was like a can of worms was just opened, and people were asking, okay, let's just agree you indeed attended this institution. Who are your classmates? We should be able to identify one or two persons. I know it's been long. Some of them may have passed on due to one circumstance or the other, but not all of them could have passed on. So who are your classmates? No classmate from primary school, no classmate from secondary school, which is the basic requirement, right? And then all of a sudden we see a particular public affairs analyst, Durojai Ogunsoya, who claimed that he and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu graduated together at the Chicago State University in 1979. In fact, he actually said, he made a statement via one of the television station, TVC, this morning. And right there, he testified that he and the president graduated from the Department of Accounting and Business Administration in 1979 from the same university. In fact, he said, we met in a school. We were in the same College of Accounting, Business and Administration with major in accounting, and we were in the same class together and graduated. He did attend the university and graduated in 1979, as I did. So I'm here to testify that he did attend the university and he was a good student. So I think that kind of provided a little bit of confidence in the president's claim. But a couple of persons questioned him. Why do you think they didn't believe this individual?
Where has he been all this while? This matter started right from the year 2000 when he was still governor of Lagos State.
Okay.
Where is this gentleman, this Baba that have just come to, suddenly come up today and start saying he was his classmate? Where has he been? When we ask that question, then you ask the graduated together. Then he would have even been one of his spokesperson, one of his mouthpiece all this while. You were talking about maybe so many years ago. There's nothing like so many years ago. We are talking of, university of how many years? He left in 1979. I want to tell you that my secondary school, we have a WhatsApp group. It was founded in 1955, and we still have some surviving students that began that school in 1955.
1955?
That are still alive till now. In our WhatsApp group, when they are talking, they take us back to the history of the school. Do you understand? So, if we can, with this level of technology we have now, nobody will begin to doubt such thing. We have a global WhatsApp group that everybody, whether you are abroad, you are in Nigeria, every part of the world, you are there. And you see these old men who started this school with the missionary people that set up the school. I attended the Catholic school. I attended an Association Catholic College, Irua, in now Edo State. So you will see when they are talking, we listen to them on WhatsApp group, on our WhatsApp group. We have different class sets, our own individual WhatsApp group. So if all these ones are coming up now, we have it both in secondary school, we have them now even in our higher institution. So we will also, Nigerians will also ask this man that has just come to identify him as his classmate, where are other classmates of theirs? Let him also bring them up. Let him also tell Nigerians, okay, we have this kind of forum where we also meet. And why has it delayed to this extent before now coming up? I mean, the matter is have been overflowed. The matter, like I said earlier, from being an aspirant to candidate to contesting the election and winning the election, now we are in court. He has been overflowed. We expected him to have come before now. But these are not even the issues now. The issue is that we are doing all this for the record, Esther. That's where I will actually want to come in, for the record. In 2027 or and beyond, anybody that is coming up to, I want to become president of Nigeria or a governor in the state, must set his record straight. Because we don't want to start going through this certificate matter any longer. They are just too trivial. There are so many things that we are expected to
that's why I asked you. I said, yes. Do you think this is just a distraction from something more important? Maybe just let them get distracted with this so that by the time we're doing what we want to do, they wouldn't know what has occurred, because it's been a debacle all this while, and yes, all for this to be provided in the public domain. So why was this information not provided all along? Why did you allow for a lot of questioning and all of that? So it seemed like it was a deliberate mechanism to create diversion.
It gives me a lot of surprise why this kind of people should have waited to this extent, knowing fully well that the office of the president is too busy and it's too big. He has so much on his table. And
in fact, Mr. Elvis, it went to a point where we're seeing several reports on the media. In fact, at some point, some things I was reading didn't make sense anymore. Where you hear the presidency saying, "Oh, please keep my account private. I do not want to be trolled by the media. Do not uncover this because it's creating the." Or you say the opposition political party is on a fishing, or they're on a fishing expedition. Several statements that doesn't seem presidential, or remarks that do not seem presidential.
Those are the things I'm telling you now, that by 2027 and beyond, we don't want to start seeing all this drawback. We don't want to start seeing all this. If you know you don't have the qualification or you cannot prove where you are coming from over the years, just stay off. They say if you cannot withstand the heat in the kitchen, don't go near the kitchen. Stay off, because if you come up with baggages, Nigerians are ready to do their investigation. And when Nigerians are doing their investigation, don't see it as witch hunt or wanting to pull you down. It is our right. Whichever institution we apply to say we want to know more about this person, the institution must oblige us, whoever that person is, because we want to know where he's coming from. Before we can give him our vote, we can have that confidence in him to be our leader or to lead us, we must know whom he is. So 2027 and beyond, because we have seen so much about this, our sitting president, so much. And many of them are not cleared. Tomorrow, all this one that we are seeing, somebody is coming up to say was my classmate. Nigerians are not ready to believe those ones any longer. You understand? But we just want to allow things to flow as it is. But from now on, we should be able to set record that if you know you have your baggage, look at what is going on in Bayelsa. Bayelsa election is coming up now, November 11th this year. Remember when Leon
not just Bayelsa, Imo
and Kogi, but I just Kogi. Yeah. I just want to pick Bayelsa because of what happened in Bayelsa in the last election. Remember, Diri was not the one that INEC declared as the preceding governor, as the governor. It was Leon. Leon was declared as the governor, but his deputy has issues, and because of that, a day to swearing in, Leon was pulled out by the tribunal, and he was not sworn in. Today, he lost that seat. When APC was picking their candidate now, they did not allow Leon to come back again. They did not allow him. It's Timi Presiva that picked up the ticket now. So what am I trying to say? Because they have seen that one that he was not the one that had the infraction, it was his deputy. But they have seen that the deputy have so spoiled the name that if we are projecting this, people might still be asking us questions, so they just push him aside. So now, if you just know too well that in 2027 and beyond, you have those kind of baggages, don't just get near that podium, I want to become president, because we will do our own investigation. You and I in the media, Esther, God give us life, we'll still probe into whoever is coming in. And we would want to know where he's coming from. I want to know his
I must tell you that this particular era where these elections took place, I haven't, in elections that have been occurring that I became conscious of myself, I have never seen such massive follow-up participation, read up. I don't know. You could see how Nigerians followed up every detail. They became personal investigate. It's a cutest kind of it's a good thing.
Because of where we're coming from.
Yes, because of where we're coming from. I know it's a good thing, and let's continue to keep ourselves abreast. I think these little things will make the government know that we are watching them.
Yes,
we're monitoring them.
Yes,
all right.
And it will help to strengthen the governance.
Exactly,
and it will also help Nigerians too to know that you don't just get into an arena when you are not invited. Now, Buhari was the one that messed us up. President Buhari messed us up so much. You know, the certificate at the time, Nigerians were like, how did he become a general? He cannot, there was nothing like primary, secondary, or whatever. People were not, you know, there was this joke in the social media that even when you present, what they call it, NEPA B, you can become a president and all that. Also, that was the reason why, every situation always, lead to other. People began to the next person, we must have to look at the certificate. Since this one on seat now, they say it does not have certificate. Again, by 2027, you see it will advance more than this. People would have done their homework. By the time they even see your name and you are printing poster, they would have done the homework. And it's one of the grounds that they will also go to the tribunal and petition that this person does not have what he claimed to have. So if you are lying on oath, it's perjury. There are laws against that.
All right, let's look at the Labour Party, which has described the statement credited to Nobel laureate as a product of groupthink syndrome. The party also noted that Soyinka's statement fell short of what was expected of a statesman of his caliber. And this statement was issued by the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Obiora Ifo, in Abuja late on Thursday, which is on Thursday evening. They also went ahead to say that they beg to disagree with his prognosis and personal opinion on the performance of the party during the 2023 general elections. He said the facts are before the court, and out of respect for the judiciary, it is important to reserve their comments until the Supreme Court makes a final pronouncement. And he said that we understand that the literary giant is human and thus susceptible to emotions, and probably said what he said based on information made available to him by those who share the Emiloko sentiment. Let me quickly ask you, do you think Wole Soyinka, spoke right?
Absolutely not.
Regardless of his personal, will I say, opinion towards the political party, but as an elder statesman, do you think that he exposed something about himself? Almost a couple of persons called him tribalistic with the kind of comments he made.
I didn't expect such comment from him because so many of us look onto him as an elder statesman, and for somebody who have had that so much exposure, who have has such a flourishing career prospect in life, one would have expected that when he's making some comment, he will have to use some diplomatic word. That word lied. I read that statement. I was like, why is this coming from such a reputable man? It's too hard on Labour Party and be obedient and obey himself. It's too hard on them. That word lied. Because this matter is still we have seen the tribunal. We are still going to the Supreme Court. So if, for instance, the Supreme Court comes the other way, how will he now begin to defend the word lied he used? He went too far. I didn't expect such from him. I expected him to have been
he said he fed the youth lies and deceit.
No.
That he should accept he came third. That he actually commends the Labour Party for a party that seemed to have been obscure to have actually come third. But how can they lie that they won the elections? They're selling deceit to the young people.
That word lied and deceit is left for, as it is now in the judiciary, to still interpret further. We have seen the first stage. We are going to the second stage now, which is the Supreme Court. It is the Supreme Court that is supposed to interpret whether they actually lies and deceit. It is not even somebody like him, because many people have seen him like a status symbol that, Nobel laureate want to be like him and all that. But if somebody like him is using this kind of word for just somebody that is coming to lead this nation, we are not talking about president of Nigeria. It's no more than that. And whoever comes in as president of Nigeria will not stay there more than 4 years or maximum 8 years. So one expected him to have used languages that are, friendly, whoever he is. We are not talking about, you know, even if it's this tribal person is the one that is there now, the Nigeria is bigger than tribe. Do you know how many tribes that are in this nation? If you begin to project your tribe, and I'm projecting my own, and every other person that is in this studio is projecting their own, the job in this Voice of the People FM will not move forward. At the end of the day, everybody will begin to, you know, take their own side and begin to do what is called divide and rule. And as a result, the job itself will be lacking. So I don't think such is supposed to come from him. There are so many things at this very material time, having seen what we went through in the election, when tribal matter became so much an issue. Some tribes were, you know, intimidated. There were violence. Do not vote. Leave the queue and all that. I didn't expect him to be saying something of this nature at this time. We should, at that statement like himself, should find a way to galvanize the unity of this nation for his own brother, if he so believe in his tribal person, to have a peaceful atmosphere to lead this nation in these 4 years. All because right. He needs it. Where peace dwell, where peace reign, that's where you see progress. So he should be able to have that unity and have that love for his brother to project for better.
So going back to the conversation we had earlier, it is expected that after now the CSU has eventually disclosed to us that, okay, the certificate is out there. We're not supposed to hear anything about that certificate anymore. No. This has already covered the lead, right? So nobody should come up with that conversation anymore. Obviously, the presidency has clarified that. Now, moving on to Wole Soyinka and his statement, you have already made some explanations, but here is also another thing that, you know, puts a big question mark. One of the commissioners in Kano State, who literally gave a bold threat to the governorship tribunal judges and the residents. In fact, this is, I need to, he said, I'm sending this message to the tribunal judges. Any judge that allows himself to be used and collect bribes and pass judgment that is not right, we want to tell him he must choose between his life and the bribe money he collected. Then he also went to the leaders. He said, you have seen the conflict in Zamfara, Kaduna and Katsina. I swear because of this governorship seats, everyone will die. The conflict that will start in Kano will be more deadly than the ones in those states and Borno. That was too brazen, considering the fact that the ethnic undertone that has caused a fracture in this country is very thin. You don't make such statements. On what grounds? If you actually won the election, why are you afraid though? We do know that the judicial system is a question. A lot of Nigerians do not trust what comes up from our judicial system because they feel that it is only when you have the financial means you can obviously sometimes influence the decision of the judges. Although the judges are trying to say the Nigerian judicial system is not like that. You must provide evidence for us to make our conclusion. But what's your take on this particular commissioner in Kano State?
That statement should be condemned, Esther. That's a national threat. It's a national threat. And I also want to employ the NIPP to also condemn that statement that they did not send this commissioner to make this. If this commissioner is trying to protect his job because he has just been made a commissioner, then he should speak within his boundaries. He cannot begin to look for, because he wants to retain his position and begin to rope the nation into, turmoil. Nigeria, even you know how volatile Kano is as a state. You even saw some of the things that have gone on in Kano since Abba Yusuf, the present governor, came into power. All the destructions and all that has been going on in Kano. So if he is fueling this ember of violence in Kano, it will not help anybody. It is not only the Hausas and the Fulanis that are in Kano. There are other known also from other tribes of Nigeria that are there. But if this war starts, you know what usually happens? They begin to attack. So this kind of person should be picked up by the DSS. Let him be used as deterrent to every other person that are in his group who may be nursing this kind of trouble. If anything goes out of their way, to let immediately the DSS should invite this man and pick him up for questioning. Because for him to have come to make this kind of statement, in the public of this nature, there are some other persons that are backing him, So now he's the leader of that party, Dr. Rabiu Kwankwaso, is too exposed. He's too civilized to allow this kind of person to bring his party into disrepute. This is somebody that be governor of that state for 8 years, and he has been a senator and he has been a minister in this nation. This is the same nation and the same state where this man is calling for anarchy now on. If there were anarchy in that state, Dr. Rabi Kwankwaso would have had the opportunity to be governor of that state for 8 years. And he would have, if there was anarchy in Nigeria like he is calling for now, he would have become a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as well as a federal minister of this nation. In fact, defense minister for that matter. So I expect that soonest DSS should call this man for question immediately.
Okay. All right. So let's take some phone calls at the moment and WhatsApp messages to 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. And then, of course, the WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. 0700 903 9039. Hello. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Hello. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Name and location, please. This is not Precious. This is Esther.
Yeah, my name is Mr. Kingsley. I'm calling from Yanipaja.
All right, Mr. Kingsley, please go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk based on what the commissioner said in Kano State. You know, let's be truthful to ourselves. You know, when they are talking about DSS to pick him, though I'm not in support of what he said, but actually, when they heard it corrupt, mind you, other players will do so. As far as up to now, there are some comments made by Attorney Dokubo. The DSS have not gone after him, and those made by the president of Nigeria. Nobody has gone after him. Then, well, will his own be exceptional? No. Let them go up. Let them start from the beginning. As far as whatever each and everyone, even the one Aero 5 said, no one has gone after him. Is it going to start from this person? No. So that's my own take. But if you want to arrest or just to go after him, let them start from the president, aside the Kubo and the Aero 5.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. The WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. I want to read in some message. Good evening, Madam Host. My name is Nemeka from Ijigbo. My people say whenever you see a rich man sing praises of a poor man, that means he has finished that poor man be that. Anytime they're trying to hide the truth, the more the truth is exposed. That means you can't hide the truth forever because the truth is always ahead of lies. And that is the only thing that can set this country free from suffering. Thank you, Nemeka, for your message. Bode from Isolo says, good evening, Precious. My name is Esther. Precious is not in here today. Because of hatred of a man who is now on seat on his personal and his educational profile, they should leave him alone. He is a president and there is nothing can do. I want to get, okay, I don't understand this English. Kindly rephrase. Good evening, VOP, Evening Rush crew. The CSU matter, I believe there is more to it than meets the eye. Damage control can be at any level and is never free. This info from CSU is purely damage control. Thank you for the rich discourse. Simisala from Isala. Thank you, Simisala, for that message. Good evening, Sister Esther Wachuku. Good evening to you too, brother. God bless you for your good questions to your guest. The CSU is questionable. It's all fallacy. The school has been compromised and compromised indeed. Distinction in 3 subjects, a brilliant student, it's a mirage. How can a school, developed country with all facilities, make mistake in the results and date of graduation and date of birth? Ijeoma Tinubu is an American who wants to contest for president. These imbroglios going on for years won't come up. They won't accept and will never allow him to contest for any elective post. They are toying with us, knowing full well we are blacks. African and Nigerian deceits. Okay. Atiko's lawyer should sue CSU and ask for authenticity of the full result. And this is from Leo Taiwo, sending a message from Ojo Alaba. Thank you so much, Leo Taiwo. Wow, that was quite a mouthful. Okay, Good evening, crew. It's unfortunate that this government does not value education. That is why they will increase school fees from primary to university. It is the same free education in the 70s and 80s that brought many of these rulers into power. But now they are in power. They want to destroy same education. They believe the more educated that you are, the more you can defend the fight for your rights. Remember, they have certificate issues. That is why they can't come for debates and interviews by journalists to be interrogated. Okay, this is quite a mouthful. Please, when you send your messages, make them as brief as possible so I can read it, out loud fast and then respond to other messages and take phone calls. Hello, good evening. Hello, please, when you're calling, kindly turn down the audio of your radio so that the feedback is quite distracted. Hello? Turn down the audio of your radio completely.
Okay.
Hello?
Good evening.
Good evening. Name and location, please. Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. I'm Odishola calling from Lagos State.
Your name is?
Odishola Adekunle.
Okay, Mr. Adekunle, please go ahead.
Odishola Adekunle.
Odushola Adekunle. Okay, good evening. Please go ahead.
Those people already talking about the government. Many of them, they don't know what they're saying. The university and the primary school, which David went through when he was ruling.
David.
Can they tell me the one?
Who is David? Please, I'm sorry. Hold on. Who is David? Who is David?
David in the Bible. The King David.
Yeah, so can they tell you the university he attended? What is the similarity of that to the conversation?
Yes, the one where they are talking about the certificate of Tinubu and all that.
Okay, so fine. So how is David of before Christ coming in concerning certificate and education?
Yes, David ruled wisely.
Okay.
Solomon ruled wisely.
All right. Hello?
Not that about who was the governor for how many years. He even worked in one of the air companies in Nigeria. Nothing, but now he's the president. Everybody was just talking and talking. Instead of us to concentrate on how to make the country better.
Okay, so you're saying that we shouldn't be talking about his certification and all of that. We should just.
We should be talking about how we are going to achieve things.
All right.
The man has resumed office. He's working.
He's working. Okay, so we should talk about the work he's been doing rather than looking at this controversies. Okay, all right.
Okay, imagine subsidy. How much have we came from this subsidy of the thing? Look at the policies they don't release.
All right.
Okay, now they are in court doing one or two, and the man is in G20 meeting in India.
He has returned. He's no longer in India. He has returned home.
Yes, I know. That was the first president I even make that move. Nobody is talking about those things. No.
Okay.
Instead of thinking of how we could become better.
Okay.
Talking about certificates and other.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Adekunle. I do appreciate your contribution. Mr. Elvis, would you shed more light on this caller's response?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, please.
Yeah, there are too many issues, and everybody has to find a way to defend his own side.
Okay.
Like he is talking about David and wisdom. He's talking about every leader has to have wisdom, and that's their era. What is obtainable in our era now is that we must do whom our leader is.
Okay.
And even though he has that constitutional mandate to come in and do the job that will be beneficial to us. That is our own welfare.
No, he's saying we shouldn't concentrate on all of these distractions. But I think Nigerians just want a situation where every situation about him seems to be controversial.
Yes.
I think that's a clarity a couple of Nigerians are asking for.
He should have even come in and say, why is the president matter very controversial? You know, when Goodluck Jonathan was there as president, nobody talked about Goodluck Jonathan's certificate. It was not part of it. Buhari came up, but people were like, this man was a general in the Nigerian army, so he didn't fly. Now that his son has come, now we are almost getting to the end now. He has about 4 years ahead. So if we finished all this at this beginning of his administration, he continue his governance. Then we'll also begin to follow him up where we feel he need to do more. But let this clear, because whoever is sitting there, we must know whom he is.
All right. Okay. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. Hello. Good evening. Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Good evening. How are you?
And Elvis.
Thank you.
This is Tony. Tony from Chicago.
All right. Good evening, Mr. Tony. Please go ahead.
Okay, my little contribution is this. I don't know why Nigeria is so divided.
Okay.
Most of the time I watch your program, so certain people call to defend. Even if those people I know, they might going through stress in their life. I want to point out something. In Nigeria, the first basic thing I was expecting the president to do is to find security. Okay. Insecurity is supposed to be the number one before looking for investors. You cannot come and invest where there's insecurity. Like now, I'm from Imo State, from Olu. I cannot go to my place Oluna to invest because there's insecurity in Olu. Nobody goes and put money where there's insecurity. So I don't know why they think the people, the whites, the foreigners should come to Nigeria and put insecurity. It's totally impossible. We are not. Here is not secured. And also talking about our naira going up and down. Who would do that? I'm here in Chicago. The last time I want to send some cars, I couldn't send some cars to Nigeria again because this problem of naira is going up and down. You can't do that. All those things. It's affecting everybody. So the main thing is to get the security done first before anything. You don't start looking for investors who come and these are just jamboree to traveling. Just go to defense, make every sure the citizens should be secured first. The farmers should go back to the farm. We don't have any product again. Now they're saying that by next year there will be food scarcity. What's it called in Nigeria? People are not farming. These are things secure them to go to the farm and they can have food in another place.
People can't go to a farm. They're insecurity. They can't go to the farm, like you were saying.
They can't go to the farm. They can't go to the farm. Exactly. They cannot go to the farm. So what are you talking about? People are not praising. Tell you what to do. Tell the right thing to do. You know, the first thing is security. To me, security is the one thing Nigeria should go ahead and look for. Thank you, and Elvis.
All right, thank you so much. Very apt. I mean, he's actually what the last caller said. Let us focus on the viable issues and the areas through which we can promote governance. It's just that on the news recently, these are the hot topics on the news, and it is pertinent of us as media personnel to actually talk about this and hear from you what you think on the conversation that we're having or what the hot topic is that is on the Pally. All right, this is the Hot Topic Pally on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. So for today, definitely this is an update on the whole CSG certificate imbroglio. And the update is the fact that the school has released a transcript. They have made clarifications of the confusion that, created speculation for over, 2 weeks now, which led to the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party to write to the court, to the school, and then there was a court hearing and that was put in place. So, yes, this is the situation on ground. All right. Hello. Good evening. Hello. Oh, we lost that connection. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. And the WhatsApp number is 0700 0700 903 9039. 0700 903 9039. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Evening. Welcome to the Evening Rush. Name and location, please. Hello.
Hello. I'm Emmanuel calling from Ejigbo.
All right, Mr. Emmanuel, please go ahead.
Please, my take to the commissioner from Kano State that was, threatening what was going to happen.
Yes.
What was going to happen if to take the other way. So you see, I've been listening to most of your analysts.
Yeah.
They say when you push a man to the wall, he will take self-help. He's trying to help himself because they look at judiciary, nothing is happening. Nobody should touch that man because he's trying to save himself.
No. You can't say nobody should touch. Did you see? He threatened the residents of the state too. You're literally saying that. No, wait. You're threatening the decision of the judges do not go in your favor. That this is what will happen. And you made mention that the anarchy the insecurity going on in the neighboring states will be worse. You literally made it seem like you know what to do to create chaos. That you're going to make worse situations in Kano State. It's not right. You're a leader. You're a leader. There are statements you shouldn't make.
It's not like what you have said.
Exactly.
Of the country. Nobody is talking to anybody.
No. Regardless, it's if it were the APC now that made that statement, I'm trying to imagine what a lot of people would have said. This is the new Nigeria People's Party. This is one of the parties, just like the Labour Party, making such a statement in a public fora. You threaten the residents of the state. You threaten the judges. No, nobody should do that.
Let's stop arrest from all the people that said something like that. So.
That's what we are saying, that obviously nothing will happen because a lot of persons have made comments like that in public threatening people and nobody has done anything. I'm just calling out. I'm saying that what he said is wrong.
That's Nigeria we find ourselves, that anybody can say anything and get away with it. So the people that cannot get themselves to the situation, get themselves to the they say whatever they like.
All right.
Everybody is talking.
Okay.
Everybody comes up to say whatever they like, and nobody's saying anything. The man is trying to go through self-help. That's my own take.
Thank you very much. The ideal thing is that two wrongs cannot make a right. No. And so long as you occupy a position of leadership, you have to be careful of the utterances you make in public, regardless of how you feel.
Yes, you know where we are missing it? Somebody called now and he was comparing El-Rufai and Asari Dokubo. And this one has come in now. It has become a chain. It has become a chain. So we should, if El-Rufai was not arrested or questioned, Dokubo was not arrested or questioned,
MC Oluma was not arrested or questioned. So why would the same thing?
But it has to be curbed at some point. Let it be curbed. Let it be that we are not in a banana republic, that their law exists here. Let's start from somewhere. We condemned those ones when they made those comments that are very unfriendly to the nation. We condemn them, and that's what we're also doing here again. We must condemn whoever that comes with infractions.
All right. Hello. Good evening. Hello. Good evening. How are you? Name and location, please.
I'm Jude. I'm calling for Surere.
All right. Please go ahead.
Okay. Concerning the Chicago issue, from my own side, I will say that whatever the evidence that is coming now, even at this point when we have gone toy and he suffered for all this while and under excruciating agreement and everything, I can say it's the dead on arrival. Understand?
Okay.
Because it amounts to playing to common people's intelligence. Why should one be coming up now to begin to give this evidence and whatever and whatever and whatever? And even at that, even at this moment, there are still a lot of controversies. Okay. How can it be? Because there's a lot more, from what you read out before, there's a lot of altercation in terms of dates, in terms of this one, that the woman that came in 2008 did this one, did this. There's still a lot of questions to come up. So that's what I have for that one now. So even at this moment, I am 110% not convinced about that.
Okay.
Apart from that one, I will align my comment again on the side of investment and every other thing. I said it when our president went to invite people to come and invest in Nigeria and everything. Let me tell you, the first thing you are going to do, no serious businessman, I've said it before, no serious businessman can go and invest in a volatile environment where you are not sure of tomorrow. You are not even sure your life and all these things. Even if you go that place, investing in investors is not only on technology or manufacturing and everything. There are mechanized farmers that can come and invest in Nigeria in farming. When you are not sure that you can put maize and you get your maize tomorrow morning, the cow will not destroy everything, how can you go and invest in such a place? So whoever that you call investors, but you have not put your house in order in terms of insecurity, I think that person is a daydreaming. Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling in. Thank you so much. Let me read out some messages. On October 15th, 1965, Wole Soyinka held Akinwande Oshin at gunpoint and forced him to play a pre-recorded cassette live at the NBC just because his preferred candidate was rigged out. Obedience haven't held any radio station presenter at gunpoint or killed, maimed any living soul at any point in the history of the movement. Wole Soyinka is part of the establishment, the old order, so he doesn't speak for Nigeria's future. He speaks for its past. I believe Wole Soyinka has been specifically commissioned to attempt to delegitimize the legitimates in an attempt to give legitimacy to the illegitimate. Okay. That was a tongue twister there. And Remy from Akoka. All right, thank you, Remy, for your response. Okay, so I have... Okay, it's good we have respect here, and we respect everyone. Please, I would love it if you promise me that you will. Okay, all right. Good evening, Esther. Nigeria has been a country where everyone said what he wants. MC Oluomo said his own, nothing happened. Asari Dokubo said his own, nothing happened. El-Rufai said his own, nothing happened. When poor guys say his own, wahala go come. From Gabriel. Gabriel, thank you for your message. Okay. Evening, because of hatred of a man who is on seat as president, they should leave Tinubu alone on his education and personal profile. He is a president. There is nothing anybody can do about it. They are just lamenting is a medicine after death. Atiku is just wasting his time and money for correction on my last comment. Okay, thank you, Bode from Isolo. Thank you very much, Bode, for your message. All right, so good evening, Esther. All the people leading in Nigeria and those aspiring to lead Nigeria tomorrow should know now that the people of Nigeria are now exposed and can go an extra mile to know more about what is happening in Nigeria. So secrecy in government will soon disappear, at least for some extent, because the people of Nigeria are ready to know more. Chicago University thought that Nigerians are not serious before now. And this is from Chinemere from Agbara. Okay. Thank you very much, Nemere from Agbara, for that message. All right, so Iman from Festac says, I am not surprised about the comments by the commissioner from Kano. The truth is that these are the type of narratives some holy politicians and northern elders peddle. Just see what happened after the new government took over in Kano. It's a narrative pushed by the likes of NNPP leadership. Let's not forget that a journalist asked Kwankwaso questions at Chatham House, and his response was that the questions sounded like people from a particular ethnic group. Let them continue because of self-interest. The chickens will still come home to roost. Okay? Thank you. Then he went ahead to say, before they arrest the commissioner, let them arrest MC Oluomo. All right, thank you. Esther, good evening. Honestly, your guest should stop taking Nigerians backwards. The tribunal have trashed this matter on the 6th of September. I don't know why he is discussing inconsequential issue that is not meaningful to us. If he has anything doing, let him go and sit down. Benjamin from Akwakwa. Mr. Benjamin, are you sure you've been following the conversation? I mean, from the onset, I don't think he's following the conversation. So please, kindly, next time, try and follow up with the conversation before you make your input, so you don't sound out of turn or out of context. There is no amount of evidence that we confuse people that believe President Buhari was okay. All right, some messages here. Hi, please, I want to remind everyone that one chief from Eastern Lagos once made a call that if their security is not properly secure, they might invite their own security. I think he's speaking of Ajawa State, okay? And he went further to say that he was picked up immediately and till now still in detention. The DSS are for some people, not everyone. Tony from Chicago. All right, Tony, thank you. Thank you very much. Somebody is, who is this? Tony Anele from Ijagemo, Lagos. I listened carefully to the video clip of Kano Commissioner. Summarily, he was making an if statement, warning those judges who may collect bribe to obtain justice. I agree that the height of his anger in threatening fire and brimstone is capable of intimidating the judges, as he shouldn't have overreached himself with such hot temper. Yet, let the concerned authorities issue counter comment, assuring that the judges shall be fair and just to all and sundry, hence there shall be no need to contemplate pulling down the roof of Kano State. Why such threats fester with reckless abandon is because those who made such in the past have not been able to face the consequence of their actions. All right, thank you, Tony, for that message. Okay. And Samson from Iyanupaja says, "Good evening, VAB crew. Imagine the commissioner's utterances while someone that has been discouraging violence is being labeled inciting violence. The Chicago saga outcome is gratification at play for cover-up. The subject involved is a very extremely brilliant entity." All right, thank you, Samson from Iyanupaja. Wow, quite a lot of messages here. Good evening. My response to about Professor Wole Soyinka's comment on February 23 presidential election and Labour Party of Peter Obi. He is an elder statesman and ought to be a father for all. He shouldn't be seen to be partisan. Okay? Thank you very much for that message. Good evening, Esther. Esther, you're worried that the man in Kano threatened the judges, but if I may ask you, was it not the same way that Tinubu's lawyers threatened the judges during their final submission at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal when they said there will be crisis if they rule against them? Comrade Godfrey from Surulere. I mean, there's a logic in that statement. But this time, the statement from the commissioner was
even all these threats, Esther, we have condemned them.
Okay.
That's why we are also condemning this. It is not a right for any Nigeria to begin to intimidate the judges that are doing their job or threatening bricks and stone to pull Nigeria down at the detriment of Nigerians. Okay. We have suffered enough. We don't want anything that will bring problem into this nation that will aggravate our suffering. We have so many economic crises is there. We have the bandits that have been terrorizing this nation over the years. Somebody is calling on more bandits into even the states that are bandits. Then we should condemn.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you? Name and location, please.
Yeah, I'm Pastor Oku.
Pastor Oku.
Yes.
Okay, Pastor Oku, go ahead. You're already Okuing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what I want to comment is concerning some of these people that are making statements of some high statements anyway.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time our president made some statements concerning to the case in the tribunal that if he's not met the decision that he will cause a problem.
Mm.
Again, somebody like Asere made the same statement, but there was somebody I had they called Ezendibo somewhere at Ajawo.
Okay.
On this statement he made that if they cannot protect his people, that he's going to invite his brethren from east to south, and it was picked up. Why is all these things happening this way? Even to this northern governor also that there's the same statement. Those statements are more trouble and concerned than what that man said. Is it because it's from a certain part of the country or what? It's very, very bad, you know. So our people should know. Unlike these Fulanis that we are talking about, you see a Fulani man, he'll be going with dagger, going out with a gun and some other things. If you ask him, he will tell you that he's using it to protect his cow. But if ordinary person carries such a distance, they will arrest him and say that he's an armed robber. It's not good. That is why we are having all these problems in this country. You know?
All right. Thank you.
My sister.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for your call. I sincerely do appreciate it. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. And the WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. I'm going to read out some decent messages on YouTube. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're currently streaming live, so you can virtually be part of the conversation. It's 90.3 FM on YouTube. Just type VOP on your YouTube search bar, right? VOP 90.3 FM, and definitely you will see us live, and it will be good for you to subscribe. So any content up in, you definitely get notified. So Ganihu Unwokori says, it is a shame that Soyinka made such a barbaric statement. He ignorantly exposed a tribal... Okay, I'm not going to use that word. All right. Monday Asamota said the transcript from Southwest College has female as the Bola A. Tinubu, and date of birth is 29th, 1952. Okay. Mojid Keji says, because you people make controversy on this man, Ashiwaju, tell us what you want again. You have the certificate now. All right. Calling News Unwe GK says, that's adequately your caller. Okay. I'm not going to read out the rest. Olushola Kiyede says, what's the big deal if you are talking about his certificate? He should have provided this to the public domain as he is a public figure. Let's get our record straight with our leader. Elizabeth Jacob says, what documents? The ones with FCT stamps dated in 2022? Ola Diwali says, Nigeria is bleeding, but who will heal the wound? Not the career politicians. Okay, those are the messages that we have on YouTube for now. Hello? Hello? All right. Evening. This is the Evening Rush. Hello?
Thank you very much. This is Dominic calling from Austria.
All right, Mr. Dominic, please go ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Also for your fellow panelists. It's doing a very nice job. May God
Thank
bless
you. Yeah, thank you.
So now I want to talk about the issue of the threat.
Okay.
You see this issue because I've been living in Austria for the past 8 years, and I also have very good contact with the government and with also the mayor, and also I can even set some of the people to you to let you have been more integrated. I played this video to one of my godfather. He's also in the government. You know what he told me? I asked him, can this happen in Austria? It can never happen. As soon as the voice is, as soon as he's making that record, that presentation, he's being arrested immediately. Who? Then the man was not telling me that did Nigeria have a government for someone to threaten a whole state? He now Google it on his phone, find out that Kano still have a population of 19 to 20 million. One person threatening 20 million, and there is the government. I don't have nothing, I have no much to say, but what I want to say is that only God in heaven will deliver Nigeria. And it will not pass this year. We cannot do it by ourselves, because the group of people who have hijacked that country is like the hooligans. Hijack that country and make it as divide and they present who they want to present on the election day. We are not practicing election in that country. What we are practicing is election. I can tell you that I'm not making an accusation, but even if there will be a God that will arrive in Nigeria tomorrow and call all these leaders to swear, maybe out of 100, only 2 will come out alive. Because all of them, they know the truth. But nobody can come out boldly and say the truth. But when they go inside their room, sit down in their room, in their comfort zone, they will look themselves and laugh in the mirror that yes, we have succeeded. But what I believe is that if God can bring that Nebuchadnezzar in the Bible, then I believe he will bring them down.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for that call. Please, when you call, I thought he was London. Thank you so much. I sincerely appreciate your input on the Evening Rush. That is quite elaborate. Let me take some messages before I take more calls. Evening Esther, when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. But when the wicked rule, the people mourn. You can win election by propaganda and eye service, deception and falsehood and backdoor formula, but you can't govern by this. This is what the president is doing. His party people call him the strategist, but the strategists think before they act. However, reverse is with this current administration. All right, thank you for that particular message. And Chicago University made a claim, and that this is not the first, second, or third time they have President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's profile in public. Hatred, don't just... Please, when you send messages, try to, I don't know, let your thoughts be coherent. Let one be able to understand your train of thought, so I can read it out as you want me to actually read out your opinion on the conversation we're having on the Hot Topic Pally. Good evening, VOP. You are both doing well, I must confess. Please, I want to react to what your guest said, that come 2027, Nigerians will stop anyone who has garbages and baggages from becoming our president. My question is this: who will bail the cat? Who will help Nigerians do that? If it's something that could be possible to do, if there should be any correct or an amendment tomorrow, today, and now is the appointed right time. It's too bad in this country that even INEC professors turning themselves into political professors and judicial court turned into political court, democracy turned into judicracy. Thank you from Bababiji from Oshudi. Mr. Elvis, that was for you?
Yeah, the people are already doing that. Somebody went as far as, going to the United States now to go and seek the record academic record of the sitting president. So if Nigerians that are coming on board, to become aspirant and candidates that want to contest, if they know that Nigerians can go this extent of digging into their past, those that have baggages may not come up. It's not as if we are going to carry placard to stop them, but they now know that Nigerians can go to any length in investigating their past and whom they are. So such people may not want, some political party may not want to feature such people whom they know that it will bring disrepute to them even when they win the election. That's how it will be. It's the people's choice.
Okay. All right. So, good evening, VOP. If one listens carefully to callers on programs of this nature, one can see nothing but bias clearly engraved on most Nigerians. One could see now that some callers are now preaching norms and governance, that what is needed now is ability to govern, not morality. However, when the issue of perceived irregularities in elections were in court, they asked for laid down rules, while norms were put aside. That no tangible evidence were tendered by Atiku and Obi, despite the fact that it was clearly seen that irregularities were exhibited by INEC and the allies. Nigerians, when exactly are we going to be straightforward in thrashing issues of national interest? Agege from Agege. Yeah. Thank you so much. Although I'm not a lawyer, but they will say that the court has to do with evidence, no matter, even if they see that somebody indeed stabbed somebody, if you cannot provide evidence of that particular fact.
What he's saying is right.
Okay.
We should not jump the gun. Let morality play its role.
No. I'm not saying what he's saying is wrong. Yes, it's just that the ruling from the presidential electoral petition was too technical. In reaction to the petition tendered,
that's the
compared to moral.
The law says that the evidences are not tenable to go the other way. No problem. We are not contesting it. But those ones that we know we can do on our own, morality must play its role.
Okay.
We must allow those people that we believe that they are credible enough to lead us. We can join in campaigning for them and throwing them up. Those that we know that these ones have baggages that is suspicious, we should also find a way to pull them down.
Okay. All right. Hi, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He is not okay. I can't read this. I don't understand it. Kindly write legibly and comprehensively so I can understand what you want to say. Evening crew, since 1999 they destroyed public schools and they are breeding agberos because of election. And it's a pain in the neck. They have transferred nationally. Now we have bandits and Boko Haram. It's a shame that the worst of us is ruling the best of us. Only low-grade minds will support this government. The Supreme Court must get it right or else we are in hot water. Dyer from Fagba. Dyer, thank you for that message. But do not quote names if you do not have facts, like the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal will tell you. Ima from First Tech says, we really missed it in the last elections. Hearing the question, who will build the cart, we need to forget these major apparatus and look inward. Shirara, in my opinion, was the best fit for the job. He knows how to handle these politicians. Okay? Thank you, Ima from First Tech, for that message. You can continue to send your messages, all right, on our WhatsApp platform, 0700 903 9039. That is the WhatsApp number. And the number to call is 0700 903 903 903. 0700 903 903 903. And the WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. Hello?
Yeah, good evening, Madam Esther.
Good evening, sir. How are you? Nemeka, you're calling again.
Okay, right. Thank you for your work. Thank you for sitting back for your activity.
Okay. Hello?
Can I talk?
Yes, go ahead, please. Hello?
Hello?
Go ahead, I can hear you.
Listen, Esther, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, what I'm saying is this. First of all, I'm saying this prayer for my country, Nigeria. Can spoil this country. Nothing can bring this country down. Whoever you like. In any selfish interest of anybody cannot bring this country to the end. Number one. And number two is this. Let the authority do something over this illegal, anyhow comment. Because people are saying it and they go free. That's why you see a lot of people making moral comments. And another thing again, a country that want to stand, insecurity and this anything about our this fuel subsidy issue. They say there's a cabal behind those things. Who are those cabals that is stronger than the nation and the authorized authority that is controlling a nation, and those cabals are stronger than them? That means we don't have a nation with that. Let's be honest. And this Western world that is treating us this way, they are telling us who we are. They are telling us truly we are not who we think we are. Because if they are respecting us, they can't hide those kind of information from Nigerians. And now whatever they present to us is who we are. Let us know the kind of image we are projecting to the world. Very soon, people will be running away from Nigerians because they will not know what you will do next. We are trying to push ourselves like a fake country, which is not unacceptable. Nobody can accept that. We are not fake people. We are not fake people. And they cannot turn us into fake people. True. Let's be honest to each other. We have a country to protect. This country belongs.
Any backlashing or statements without facts being made on this particular platform? 0700 903 903 903, and the WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Kindly when you call, turn down the audio of your radio, please. The feedback is distracting. Hello? Yes.
My name is Mr. Okon.
Mr. Okon, okay. Where are you calling from?
From Ejibo.
All right, Mr. Okon, please go ahead.
Okay. The problem that we have in this country
Mm-hmm.
is a tribal. It's a tribal. Tribalism don't keep this country. If anyone that who goes power, you will like to, your brothers like to back on him. Even though the thing is wrong, they will say it's okay. But what I'm hearing from this conversation is that the other tribe, they are even though things are going wrong, they are even hungry, they are even dying, they still protect, they still attack anybody who talks the truth. But the only what I know that this country belongs to everybody. We are one Nigeria. If we know that we are one Nigeria, we would like to destroy this country. The way the country is doing now, everybody knows the hunger is too much. The security is too much. And somebody is safe. No good road. Nothing at all. Everything is zero. So some people are happy. Maybe because they give them I don't know how to call it, coin. They will be jumping up. They forget that tomorrow their brothers will choose for it. So the only thing I'm saying that let God take control of this country. If not so, where I'm looking at it, I don't think that in future we will have a future of our children.
All right, thank you so much for, thank you. 0700 903 903 903, that's the number to call, and 0700 903 903 903. Let me read out some interesting messages right here on YouTube. You can actually subscribe to our YouTube channel at VOP903 FM. Once you do that, subscribe and definitely be virtually part of the conversation. So William Mars says, Kano Commissioner's outburst, it's just to tell you that the only folk that can make a violent statement is either you are, okay, you made some religious sentiments here, which I want to read out. Okay, he went ahead to say, Tinubu is not serious with insecurity. I have concluded 2 years ago. Okay. No difference between Kano governor's statement and that of Tinubu's snatch it, grab it, and run with it. Ganihu Nwokori says the transcript has a different date of birth from the one Tinubu gave to INEC. Okay. All right. Those are the messages or rather comments on our YouTube channel. I would implore you to actually make your comments civil and logical right here while we continue with the conversation. Okay, based on facts and not generality. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to actually call, and you can actually send a message to 0700 903 9039. So, Dyer from Fagba says, "Evening crew, the palliatives is a lazy approach of government to solve the economic hardship they have put Nigerians into. This is Almajiri refugees' approach of governance. It's a perception. It's more or less vote buying to win the people over considering the election case in court. A situation where we need security, agriculture, electricity, road improvement, refinery. This is a schoolboy approach to governance." Okay, thank you, Dio from Fagba, for your message. This is Talks from Shasha. Good evening, VOP. If Nigerians can't get it now, I'm sorry to say that we won't ever get it. I'm hearing some folks say 2027, really? 2027? We need to let these people know that we aren't playing. How can one man threaten over 200 million people? Nigeria must wake up, sleeping sons of Jacob. Okay? Thank you so much, Talks from Shasha. But I think you said even the results that were provided by the school, that the date of birth is not accurate with what the president said he was born. So what will the school tell us now? Well, the school has clarified that he actually attended that institution, and they make clarifications that that's the date that they put in there, that it is expected for errors to be implemented as to the fact that that was way back and this is now. So it was sworn under oath, and the affidavit was tendered for public consumption. So I read it out actually earlier on the program. Good evening, Esther. In the forthcoming governorship elections in some states, how many indigents bother about academic qualifications or leadership capabilities of the aspirant? But after elections, people will be shouting unnecessarily. Proper investigation must be made before even primary. Shola. All right, thank you so much, Shola. I think you still had more to say because that did not sound like you had concluded. Good evening, VOP. Those supporting this government are the real enemy of this nation who are benefiting directly or indirectly from a man. Okay, I said here that when you want to make utterances and give us your perception on the conversation this evening, you should try as much as possible for your statements not to be slanderous. You can actually factually talk based on issues, but there should be no slander. All right? 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. Hello, good evening. Hello, you're on, you're live. Good evening. Name and location, please.
This is Pastor Harrison calling from Badagry.
Pastor Harrison, please go ahead.
What I just want to do is very, very simple. Like, for instance, your analyst has been saying that when Akari Dokubo did what, it was condemned. Rufai, it was condemned. And each time we condemn without punishment, people will continue to go on that trend, and it is not helping us. And we should do things to think of posterity. What we are doing, we are not giving good legacy for our children that are watching over us. It's a very bad trend that is going on. Everything is turning upside down. Can a man stood up begin to challenge a whole population of how many million? One man. It's a serious thing. We need divine intervention in this case. I don't want to say much. Let's rest the case.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. 0700 903 903 903. I do apologize once you hear interim coughs. I'm under the weather, so sometimes you can't control when the cough comes. So apologies if that actually tries to, interrupt sometimes. I sincerely do apologize for that. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. You can actually send us a WhatsApp number or message on 0700 903 9039. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Okay. Hello. You're actually live. Yes, good evening. Name and location, please.
Yeah, my name is Collins. I'm calling you from Wole.
All right, Mr. Collins, please go ahead.
Yeah, look, my sister. This country belongs to all of us.
Okay.
So, if a statement that somebody will not make and intimidate citizens, intimidate judges, is not going to help all of us because if this country collapse, it will collapse none of us. All of us in it. So, whatever we can do to safeguard this country from this attitude we are playing.
Okay.
We need to do something. Because, look, I've been listening to people
Okay.
saying somebody will call and they will start praising this government. This government should have focused on insecurity that is ravaging this country. Not all this is traveling around, going Dubai, going India. They will never come here to do anything. I said, this traveling, all these things will become zero.
All right.
So let us come back here and dialogue. Think of how to make this country great.
Okay.
I think it will be better for all of us.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for your contribution on the evening rush. I sincerely do appreciate that. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to actually call. 0700 903 903 903. Kindly make your comments civil based on facts on the conversation that we're having. It's quite important. Okay, no slanderous statement. It's necessary. Hello. Wow. Okay. Oh wow. This person is on the road. That is very noisy. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. And the WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. Good evening, Esther and your guest. It's shameful to be hearing this type in a country, even if President Tinubu himself made such a comment in presidential election petition. So that man learns from the head of a nation. Even the judiciary knows the truth, but they hide it. But when the truth will come out, nobody can close it. It will surely hunt them one by one. Those who knows the truth and hide it. My name is Kelechi from Oshode. Thank you very much, Kelechi. Although I did not really understand what you were saying, please, when you send a message on a platform like this, take your time. I know sometimes everyone is, that situation, you just want to respond to at the time, you just want to respond. Well, it's important that you take your time and write properly so your message can be properly interpreted. All right, otherwise it gets muddled up and I end up not understanding what you're trying to say. So please, it's important for you to calm down, construct your messages properly, then I can read it. All right, thank you. Okay, wow, Esther, you are welcome back from your sabbatical. I was never on the sabbatical. Precious is the one who handles the evening rush. I basically do more of the news and the political spotlight. So if you have been listening to the world news, we have our bulletins from 12 noon, major bulletins from 12 and 6 p.m. So it's 12 to 12:30 and 6 to 6:30. It's a comprehensive news analysis where we get to take out topical issues that are, trending in the news, and then we analyze it with seasoned intellectual analysts. That's what I do. So the evening rush is handled by Precious, but she's not on sit, and so I'm sitting in for her. So I was not on sabbatical. However, thank you for, following up. Okay, you, the trio, are great gifts to VOP, in particular Nigeria in general. Please keep it up. Thank you very much for that compliment. Tribalism, religious and party sentiments have killed this country and it will take divinity to heal. What do we say when a country outs its eggs in one basket with appointments of finance minister, FIRS, and now a summarizer, CBN governor from the same place? Indeed, our president has not disappointed by playing Buhari's card as promised. Tony Ijeoma. Thank you very much, Tony, for that particular message. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. The WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. 0700 903 9039. All right. Good evening, honorable moderator. Please, your guest in the studio should stop fooling us, okay? How he did not speak well in some aspect regarding Tinubu's certificate and the Chicago in US and some other things. How can he say Nigerians want to know their president? Who are the Nigerians? People like him, the Obedient and Labour Party? As for me and others, we don't want to know our president because we already know him. I know Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his education many years ago he's a graduate of accounting in Chicago University. So I agree with Benjamin, who fired your guest in the studio. I've been listening to him from the beginning. Prince Majek Femi Majekodumi, Mr. Elvis, please, what's your response to this, my honorable?
He has just spoken for himself. He knows he's president. But I also have my right to know my president.
He says you're an obedient. He called you an obedient. Are you an obedient?
I'm not an obedient. I am here to, speak for some of us who also believe that we want to know our president. He has offered himself to become president of Nigeria.
You're not an obedient. Are you not an obedient follower of Christ?
Well, I'm a obedient follower of Christ, but politically, I don't want to go into this obedient or whatever.
All right.
I am speaking the truth. He has offered himself to become president of Nigeria, and as a result, I must know whom he is. If he's just an ordinary person like I am, many people don't know me, and nobody will be questioning whom I am. He just heard my voice in the studio. That's why he's reacting to what I said. There are so many Nigerians like me who also want to know where this man is coming from. When Chief Abiola came up in 1993 to contest as president of this nation, I never knew he was that educated. Okay. It was when I was reading, then there was a magazine I was so glued to then that I used to read so well, Africa Guardian. It was, and I began to see the profile of MK Abiola. I said, this man is this educated, you understand? I only knew him as a philanthropist. But when I saw his profile, I fell more in love. That's what Nigerians are actually looking at. They want to know whom their president is and know where he's coming from and where he's going to take us to.
Well, he's saying he doesn't need to know anything about it.
He has known, but I have not known. So many Nigerians have not known. I have my own right to say I want to know.
Exactly.
He can't seize shut me up on my rights.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Good evening. Why some tribes are so negatively minded about this country? Well, the government has started working and kicked the ground running, while some of these antagonists cannot manage their home and village successfully. Kola Wole from mainland. Well done, Kola Wole, for your contribution on the program. Evening, Esther. The lesson I learned from this election is that if you can use vote buying, intimidation, and also money to cover your tracks, you can win elections in Nigeria. Also, there is no need of technology for INEC. Robert Stamp Senate, like Jimmy Cliff said, they have taken the children's bread and given it to the dogs, making the people's lives so hard. Also, how can there be peace without justice? With all this, truly, we can't get justice under the system. A system that brought, I don't want to mention names, but thank you for that particular message. I told you to actually keep your messages civil. It's important. This is a recognized media organization. We do not want to be sued. You wouldn't come and bail us out. All right, the politician has already brought confusion between Nigerians. Only God can help us. Thanks. You didn't tell me your name. Please kindly state your name when you send messages. 0700, we'll soon be wrapping up this program. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. The WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. Hello.
Hello, good evening. My name is Samuel. Good evening, Esther.
Good evening, Samuel. Thank you.
Yes. I want to speak on three aspects of your discussion today. Number one, concerning the certificate. If I had a child, I sent to school, and the graduation day, he brought a certificate bearing Mrs. instead of Mr. and date of birth misplaced, I will send him back immediately as he told me. That's number one. Then number two, concerning the situation in Nigeria, we are engulfed in battles. There are literal battles going on. People have been killed, Boko Haram and so on.
Okay.
There are social battles. People are suffering. The way of life of Nigerians declining. Number three, which is more deadly, is the emotional and sentimental and others. So, a lot of battles going on. And if you look at it, the money has fallen.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you for that call. We've lost that. The connection is poor. I couldn't hear some of the things you were saying. All right, kindly call back in this remaining few minutes. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. And also you can send us a WhatsApp message on 0700 903 9039. 0700 903 9039. Hello. Hello.
Oh, good evening.
Evening. Welcome to the Evening Rush. What's your name?
My name is Chuka Dibie, calling you from K2 Ijaniki.
K2 Ijaniki. All right, please go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. In Nigeria today, I think there's those that own this country. What the commissioner said, if an ordinary some tribe said it, they will not be immediately DSS go and carry them. But because in Nigeria some tribes they live above the law.
You're saying that some tribes are more superior than others.
They are more superior than others. So they suppose they play the show.
Is it possible that we wait and see possibly what the Nigerian police force would do in Kano State? I haven't heard what the commissioner said. Do you think we're wrapping things, concluding too fast? Hello?
I think you're in Nigeria. When somebody in Lagos stops on tribe not to vote during the voting era, you heard about it. What did the police do today? You are in this country when somebody carried AK-47 threatening some tribes. What have they done today? So it will go like others.
All right.
There's
Thank you.
Problem.
But let's hope that the right thing will be done. We thank you so much. We keep on having this conversation so that the right thing will be done. I think the idea of the people and the media is to hold the government accountable. Whenever they do actions that are against the Constitution or that does not go according with what the law stipulates, it is our responsibility to call them out on it. And that's basically why it feels like this conversation is being exacerbated. You can hear that on most media channels. They're having this conversation and then you're getting to feel the pulse of the people and what they think about it. So let's hope that in Kano due diligence will follow and that things wouldn't just let slide. Because if you continue to let it go like this, then people would brazenly commit crime.
And
yes, exactly. People will commit crime and just get away with it just because they can actually do it. 0700 903 903 903. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Name and location, please.
Good evening, Mohammed on the line.
Hello.
For your good job.
Thank you. What's your name?
My name is Mohammed.
Mohammed, what's your location?
From Lagos.
All right, Mohammed, please go ahead.
Yes. All these comments, comment left and right, it's not their fault. It's because of the judiciary and the sentiment in Nigeria.
Okay.
If we cannot escape that issue, I don't think we can get it right. Because if you said, okay, this is criminal, and you take it to court, tomorrow lawyer will stand for him, and will bail him out. And the moment he cites you in the town, he will get you down. Everybody will keep quiet. If it's from my side, you say, na my town man, na my language man, na my G. My sister, it's only if God can intervene. All these noise are not eradicated because the judiciary are not helping issues. Sentiment has supported the judiciary, everything go worse. Thank you very much. God bless you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mohammed, for your call. I sincerely appreciate it. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903 and the WhatsApp number to send your messages to is 0700 903 9039. Good evening, Esther. My name is Ambrose. Political inflammatory statements are not new to Nigerians, neither are they considered as offensive or a crime. It is on record that former President Muhammadu Buhari once threatened to make the country ungovernable for the then incumbent president, GEJ, and nobody arrested him. So the likes of this Kano State Commissioner Dokubo or El-Rufai should be left alone. All right, thank you for that. Evening crew, the job you I do apologize. Okay. Evening crew, the job you applied for in VOP. The criteria asked for was your certificate and CV. You did not just jump to the mic. You can even tell them to verify from the university you graduated from. But your president and Senate has reversed the trend, has been covering his tracks from governorship now to presidency. A lie can go for 1,000 years, but the truth will catch up with him. That is why they destroyed education from 2015 till now, so that why they can't come for debate to be interrogated by journalists. It's unfortunate. The worst of us is ruling the best of us. If the judiciary doesn't get it right, we are in hot water. It's a shame. Dio from Fangba. What's your take on that, Mr. Elvis?
Yeah, he's quite right, because you didn't just jump into this studio. You submitted a CV, you wrote an application, and you were called for an interview. And you are only coming to receive salary. But remember that a sitting president, everything about him for the next 4 years is going to be done for him by Nigerians, taxpayers' money. He's sitting there, free food, Aso Rock, free housing, all the cars he drives, the aircraft he flies, his health. And this is not just applicable to him, it's applicable to his family. This is what average Nigerian goes at every day under the rain and sun to go and look for, to eke out a living. But he's old, it's almost like free. Then somebody is querying why you want to know such person, when you know that out of the tax I pay, part of it goes to his maintenance, taking care of Aso Rock. Do you know how much it costs this nation? We heard of the Aso Rock clinic. When Nigerians don't have clinic, they don't have hospitals in their respective areas to go. But there's a standby clinic there. If the clinic cannot do anything for him, he flies with the next available flight, presidential jet abroad. You know, so somebody is querying why must we know whom he is. We have the right to know whom he is.
All right, thank you so much. We are rounding up the program this beautiful Friday evening. It's actually, thank God, it's Friday. Yes. We have already entered the weekend, and we'll soon be wrapping up this particular conversation. So I'll read out this WhatsApp message and then possibly take one final call, and then we'll let it go. Hi, Esther Wachuku. Concerning the CSU statement today on Tinubu, did they clarify the gender issues? I'm still trying to get the actual statement from them to analyze. So yes, they did admit that there were errors because it was imputed manually. So that, the way things were done then and now, a lot has changed. But there are consistent factors which can corroborate if we want to corroborate. So they're saying that there is some error. They admitted to the errors because it was manually done. So it is understandable if there are some errors. That's basically what the affidavit stated. Okay, so that's where it goes. All right, your guest says Chicago University blocked their Twitter. What's wrong with that when you Nigerians are flooding their account, disturbing them from Majek Kodumi? Again,
if it was an American...
No. Did you say it was wrong for them to have blocked their X account?
I mean, why would they block it?
But they were being harassed and they were threatened.
Yes, Nigerians want to know whom their president is, and you want to deny them the right. If it was Americans that want to know whom their president is, would they do that? I told you here that they took us for a ride.
Okay, all right. Let me read out this message. Hello, Esther. I've been thinking the best way forward for my dear country, and I only wish we will wake up one morning to hear. Okay. All right, thank you for that message. Tinubu is your president. Pray for him. Your country will be better. Luka Dimka from Lagos. Yes, we'll pray for the president so that we'll have a better country. All right, okay. This message again is repeated. Hello, Esther. I've been thinking the best way forward for my dear country, and I only wish we'll wake up one morning to hear the voice of Tunde Diagbo. This is for 90s to understand. From Tony.
Hear the voice of today. Jagmo is dead.
Yeah, he's that what he's saying, that he wish he would just wake up to hear his voice.
Oh, it's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate. He has passed on. Okay, so he feels that if we hear his voice, he's gonna, reverse a couple of trends that have occurred now.
Well, there are still more Tunde Jagmo who has discipline, who has stringent. It's just that we have not found them. If they are given opportunity, he had the opportunity.
We have not found them, or possibly they are not in the right political party.
Have not allowed them to get to emerge. Yes, he was opportune. That's why we knew him. We also pray that the system will throw up such Nigerians that will actually come and sanitize the system again.
Okay.
And we'll have history from there again too.
All right, so we have to wrap up the program right about now, but I want to read out this affidavit again because a couple of you are asking questions. Remy from Akoka is asking, what about the signature on the certificate? What's the explanation behind it? So here is the affidavit. It says, Caleb Westberg, first being duly sworn, states that if called to testify in this matter, I am over 18 years of age. He's taken an oath, meaning that he is under oath while making this statement on this affidavit, and would competently testify as to the facts contained herein, and do affirm as follows. So here it goes. 1. I am employed as a registrar of Chicago State University and I'm authorized to submit this affidavit on its behalf. So this affidavit is from the registrar of Chicago State University, whose name is Caleb Westberg. So, second point, Bola Ahmed Tinubu graduated and was awarded a degree from Chicago State University on June 22, 1979. Number 3, Chicago State University provided a diploma to Bola Ahmed Tinubu and subsequently provided a certified or official copy of that diploma. Both are valid and authentic diplomas of Chicago State University. Number 4, there are certain differences. I'll take that again. There are certain differences between the diploma and the certified copy because all diplomas are signed by the current president/board chair. There are also differences in the font. The font is the type, the letter, the handwriting. That is the graphical, the computer writing on the particular paper. So there are also differences in the font and seal on the diploma versus the certified copy. So there is a diploma certificate. There is also a certified copy. He's saying that there are differences in the font and the seal of these two, the diploma and the certificate, because the university updated its font and seal after the diploma was issued. So the font and seal of 1979, the certificate or diploma that anyone gets from 1979, the font and seal therein is different from the font and seal of now because there have been an update. So that could be termed an irregularity. Does not mean that the certificate is not authentic or that it is not genuine. That's basically what he's saying. He said again that the difference in the date of award on the diploma versus the certified copy is likely the result of human error. I'll take it again. The difference in the date of award on the diploma versus the certified copy is likely the fault of a human being. The graduation date on the certified copy is typed in manually by a person and can be inaccurate. So at the time in 1979, it was written or typed in manually. So it is prone to errors compared to now that we have computation, digitization, which of course is programmed by a human being. But anyway, that's what the affidavit states. So in the United States of America, institutions of higher education often consider the diploma to be a ceremonial document. The official records of Chicago University reflect and verifies that Bola Ahmed Tinubu graduated and was awarded a degree as stated above. So those of you who sent messages asking for the signature on the certificate, that's the explanation behind it. My name is Esther Nwachukwu. Thank God it's Friday. Thank you for being part of the program, Mr. Elvis. I sincerely thank you for taking your time out, coming on from 6 o'clock till now. You have been immensely wonderful. I sincerely appreciate you.
Pleasure.
For all of you who called in and sent your WhatsApp messages, I'll say thank you so much. Precious will be with you definitely on Monday. My name is Esther Nwachukwu. Follow me on social media, on Twitter at Esther Nwachukwu, on Instagram at Esther Nwaz. That's ESTANWAZ. All right. And of course, on Facebook is Esther Nwachukwu. Mr. Elvis?
Elvis across all social media.
Amazing. That's good. All right. So follow, share, like, subscribe, be part of the conversation always. I'm signing out for now. Do have yourself an amazing weekend.